Discover the touching moment when a little girl reveals her amazing wish for a home and a mommy. In a cozy Midwestern town, December twinkled with the magic of the winter festival. Streets were draped in colors of joy, with trees illuminating the darkness like stars fallen to earth. But for 7-year-old Lily, each light flickering in the crisp night air held a shadow of longing. She lived in a cramped foster home, tucked away in the cluttered heart of town. The laughter of passing families echoed outside, each sound tugging at her tender heart. All she ever wanted was a real home, a place bursting with love and warmth and a mom to hold her close, to whisper that she was cherished. During school, while kids shared stories of family traditions, Lily sat in the corner of her art class, pencil in hand. She sketched a white picket fence, blooming flowers, and a little girl surrounded by a loving family. A family made of laughter, hugs, and hot cocoa shared by the fire. But behind each stroke of her pencil was a heavy ache that felt light years away from her reality. When Jason, a new boy, arrived at the foster home, his eyes were shadows of pain. He was older, with a world-weary scowl that contrasted Lily's ever-present smile. She wanted him to see the sparkle her heart held, to feel the warmth of hope. Together, they navigated the loneliness that clung to their lives. An unspoken friendship bloomed, but just when things began to feel brighter, an adoption opportunity slipped through Lily's fingers like snowflakes melting in the sun. The community buzzed with excitement as they prepared for the festival. Families gathered, flaunting smiles and shared dreams. But for Lily, the festive atmosphere pushed against the walls of her heart. She was a little girl without roots, no solid ground to stand on. Watching the townsfolk celebrate, she felt the weight of being seen differently, like a whisper passed around, saying she was not enough. As the festival lights glimmered overhead, a spark ignited in Lily. Her heart swelled with the urge to share her wish. That night, drowning in the warmth of the crowd, with music swirling like a gentle hug, she stepped up to the microphone. Trembling yet determined, she poured her soul into her words, her voice soaring above the noise. I just want a home and a mom to love me. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Lily's words hung in the air, tinged with hope and vulnerability. The townspeople, with hearts now pricked with awareness, felt the walls of indifference begin to crumble. What followed was a moment that would challenge their understanding of family and belonging. All eyes were on her as whispers of change began to ripple through, raising questions of love that could bridge divides. Would her wish be met with compassion, or would the shadows of misunderstanding drown her luminous spirit? An electric anticipation filtered through the crowd, and each breath seemed a question begging for an answer. The crowd was still, a thick silence blanketed the festival, as if time itself held its breath. Lily, standing in the spotlight, felt a swell of emotions flood over her. Hope mingled with fear, her heart beat rapid like a drum in her chest. She gazed out at the sea of faces, searching for signs of understanding, of kindness. A few moments passed, and then it happened. An older woman in the front row, Mrs. Thompson, known for her bakery and her big heart, wiped a tear from her cheek. She nodded slowly, as if confirming a thought that had been lingering in her mind. Lily's breath caught. Maybe, just maybe, someone was starting to see her. Murals of emotions spread across the faces of the crowd. Some exchanged glances, others leaned closer, drawn in by the raw honesty of her words. Jason stood at the back, arms crossed, his expression uncertain yet curious. Could he also wish for something more? Hope suddenly felt tangible. The mayor, a jovial man usually full of grand ideas, stepped forward. He cleared his throat, the warmth of his smile faltering just slightly. Lily, he began, his voice soft but steady, thank you for sharing your heart with us. It takes strength to say what you just said. He paused, glancing at the crowd, their eyes now brimming with empathy. Tonight, we celebrate not just the season, but our community, an opportunity for us to come together. As he spoke, Lily's hope flickered like the twinkling lights around her, igniting something within her. She could feel the crowd shifting, a current of energy flowing toward her, powerful and undeniable. The moment held potential, a possibility that this was the beginning of something wonderful, but just as the festival felt alive with renewed spirit, a sudden chill swept through the air. The mayor's tone shifted. Let us remember that family has many forms. While we can't all give a child a home, we can offer love in different ways. Lily's heart sank at the implication, a quick shadow crossing her face. The warmth began to ebb, pulling her back into the feeling of being different, of being less than enough. Did they think her wish was too much? All she wanted was love, a family like theirs. Jason stepped forward, his voice breaking through the fog of fear. But what if we could help? He shouted, surprising everyone. Maybe we can all be a part of this. In that moment, Lily saw something shine in his eyes, a flicker of the hope she had clung to herself. She felt a rush of happiness, propelled by his courage. The crowd stirred again, whispers growing louder, now filled with a spark of enthusiasm. Murmurs of strangers volunteering, the possibility of community projects, or even a shared home for children like Lily and Jason began to swirl. The moment twisted into something bigger, spilling over with possibilities, and just as uncertainty lingered, a familiar voice cut through the night. Mrs. Thompson stood, her arms raised, calling for everyone's attention. What if we made a real commitment, as a town? To support our kids, to create real homes, real futures? Lily's heart raced, hope igniting once more. Could this be happening? Could her wish for a home, a family, begin to unfold? But just as excitement began to bubble, a sharp voice interrupted from the crowd, casting a shadow over the light. Why should we? The question hung in the air, echoing Lily's worst fears. As she turned, the harshness of the words pierced through her perfectly woven dreams, leaving her once again standing on shaky ground. Would she have the courage to face this challenge? Lily's gaze met Jason's, and in that shared look, the bond of friendship strengthened. Whatever lay ahead, they would face it together. This was just the beginning, but would the community step forward, or fall back into silence? Lily felt the weight of the question hang in the air like a thick fog. Every eye seemed to search her, each heart quietly weighing their allegiance. She swallowed hard, feeling the familiar ache in her chest that came with vulnerability. But this was different. The flicker of hope ignited by Jason and Mrs. Thompson's words held her steady. The crowd murmured, the earlier excitement wavering like a candle in the wind. Jason stepped closer, his expression intensely focused, and leaned in. Ignore that voice, Lily. You've already made them think. Now let us show them why this matters. Taking a deep breath, Lily stepped forward, standing a little taller. Why should we care? She echoed back, but with a surprising amount of strength in her voice. Because every child deserves love. Every child wants a family. It doesn't matter if we're different, it matters that we feel the same. Silence fell over the audience again, but this time it felt charged, like the air before a storm. Faces showed determination, others confusion. But as she continued, she noticed the same woman from the front row, Mrs. Thompson, nodding in agreement. Imagine, Lily said, her hands gesturing as if she were painting a picture in front of them, if we could build a home together. A place where children who feel alone could find a family. A place filled with laughter, with warmth and love. Her heart raced at the images spinning in her mind. Whispers began to ripple through the crowd again, louder this time. Jason stepped beside her, a determined look in his eyes. We've all been touched by a community at some point. It's time to give back. Every gesture counts. This can be our chance to create something real. A man in the back, rough around the edges but with kindness in his eyes, raised his voice. Wouldn't it be something to have a place for kids to call home? An avalanche of nods greeted his words, bringing a wave of hope crashing over Lily. Lily's smile widened. Yes. Together, we can not just support each other, we can create love that lasts. Her chest swelled with pride, cheeks flushed with excitement, but, just as she felt the energy beginning to shift positively, another voice rang out, this one deeper, more somber. And what if it fails? What if we can't keep it together? Children will only get hurt again. Her heart sank as tears stung her eyes. It was what she feared most, that doubt would overtake the spark. Would they truly stand together? Or was this just a fleeting moment in the night? Jason squeezed her shoulder, whispering in a tone meant just for her. Focus on the good, Lily. You have the chance to inspire them. Show them the possibilities, like you showed me.
Lily bit her lip, nerve trembling, but she had come too far to back down.
It was her moment.
I'm not asking for perfect, she said, confidently meeting eyes filled with uncertainty.
I'm asking for hope. Hope that together we can do better, and that no child has to feel alone. The atmosphere began to shift again, an undercurrent of determination melding with curiosity.
Faces began to soften, hearts opening. Quiet nods replaced shaking heads, murmurs of encouragement flickered like candles caught in the gentle wind.
Let us create a committee.
Mrs. Thompson proposed boldly, her voice firm as the crowd began to rally around her.
Let us make this work. Lily's heart soared. Could this really be happening?
For the first time, she didn't just feel seen, she felt the collective heartbeat of a community rekindling its spirit, but before the excitement could reach a crescendo, another voice from the back broke through with the weight of skepticism.
And how do we know this isn't just another dream that fades away? Lily's heart tightened. Would they really trust her? Would they believe in the dream she poured her heart into?
She glanced at Jason. They had made it this far. If they were in this together, there was still hope.
Let us make it a reality.
Jason shouted, his voice rising above the noise.
Let us show everyone that we care enough to try.
Emboldened, Lily found her voice again, raising her hands to beckon
their attention. Let us not let fear hold us back.
We can do this together, the crowd erupted, rushes of excitement testified by voices merging in support. But deep down, everything hinged on that one pivotal moment.
Could they bridge the gap between fear and hope?
As the thunder of applause resonated around her, Lily knew it was just the beginning of a much bigger journey.
Something beautiful was about to unfold, but would they truly step up when it mattered most?
Lily stood at the front, her pulse racing as the crowd's enthusiasm wrapped around her like a warm blanket. She could feel the weight of the moment, but this time it felt different. The energy was alive, a living thing pulsating with dreams and aspirations. Around her, people began to rise, forming small clusters, excitement evident on their faces.
Let us organize a meeting. Someone called out.
The suggestion seemed to spark further conversation. Lily's heart raced with a mix of hope and fear. Could they really turn this moment into something tangible? Amid the chatter, Jason stepped forward, anchoring himself in the center of a gathering cluster.
All right, listen up, he commanded, his voice breaking through the din. We must start by sharing our personal experiences. Why does this mean so much to us?
Lily watched as the voices of her community blended into a chorus of shared stories. An elderly woman spoke of her own experiences growing up, with empty seats at the dinner table always tugging at her heart. A young father talked about wanting a better life for his daughter and how he wished they could support all children who needed a home. Each story poured fuel on the fire Lily had ignited. She stepped closer to Jason, her heart swelling with pride for the people around her. This is the moment we show them hope, she whispered to him, but then a thought twisted in her gut.
What if they couldn't keep the excitement alive? What if, just like previous attempts, it fizzled out into nothingness? She bit the inside of her cheek, holding back fear as she focused on the hopeful flame flickering in the crowd. She took a deep breath and stepped into the limelight again. What if we did something big? She proposed, her voice steady despite the nerves bubbling within. What if we organized a fundraiser? We could get everyone involved. The idea hung in the air, mixing with the whispers of the crowd. Would they actually back her plan?
Mrs. Thompson, who had been listening intently, suddenly broke into a smile.
That's a wonderful idea, Lily. Think of all the ways we can use our skills.
Bake sales, community cleanups, talent shows. A buzz of excitement rippled through the audience like a wave.
People began nodding, energized and enthusiastic.
One by one, they fed off each other's ideas like bright sparks igniting a fire. As they brainstormed, ideas flew across the room, each suggestion more innovative than the last. They could hold an open mic night, an art auction, even a car wash. The excitement built into a crescendo, voices overlapping as they shared their passions and skills.
Lily's heart soared, filled with warmth and a sense of belonging.
They weren't just voices in the crowd anymore, they were a community united. But just as joy settled in her heart, a voice from the back cracked through the excitement.
And what happens if none of it works? If we can't even raise $1? Lily's breath hitched. That familiar ache returned, tugging at the corners of her heart. Her cheeks flushed as they all turned to look at the source of doubt, the energy in the room trembling on the edge. Jason stepped forward, a fire igniting in his eyes. We're not here to win a race and collect money. We're here to build something deeper. It's about love, about staying together even when it's hard. Lily felt a surge of courage. This was it. She needed to show them what they could become, not what fears could limit them. Think of each child's smile, she urged. Every single dollar represents hope, every event a chance to bond as a community. We owe it to them to try. The focus shifted again, and she could almost see that flicker of hope spreading as eyes sparkled with renewed vigor. Could they truly transform this fear into action? As ideas began to flow once more, Lily felt the weight lift slightly. They were gathering momentum, edging closer to their vision. With each suggestion, they were weaving together a tapestry of possibilities. What would they find in this challenge? Would they truly find a home for every child in need? As the voices melded into one, Lily stood, heart pounding with anticipation. It wasn't just about raising funds anymore, it was about creating a lasting legacy. And in that moment, she couldn't shake the feeling that something unexpected was waiting just beyond the horizon. Would their dream become a reality, or would fear shatter this fragile unity? Ideas circled the room like wildflowers dancing in the wind, each voice building on the last. Lily couldn't help but smile as she watched a newfound spirit take root. Jason, ensuring everyone had a chance to speak, continued to orchestrate the gathering. Then, a small figure stepped from the back, her presence unexpected and magnetic. A little girl, no older than 8, with tangled brown hair and wide, innocent eyes cautiously made her way forward. Lily's heart skipped a beat, and the room fell silent, curiosity swirling like leaves in an autumn breeze. "What's your name?" Jason asked gently, crouching low to meet her gaze. "Emma," she replied, a soft tremor in her voice, but her courage shone through. "Can I say something?" "Of course, Emma." Lily encouraged, her voice a nurturing wave pushing the girl forward. Emma took another step closer, her tiny hands clasped tightly. "I heard you talking about helping kids like me." Her voice wavered but held the strength of truth. I think it's really nice. But what if I tell you what I really want?" "Please do," Jason said, a kindness lacing his every word. Emma swallowed hard, her eyes shimmering as she searched theirs. "I just want a home and someone to take care of me, like a mommy." The room seemed to hold its breath. A collective jolt of emotion rippled through the crowd, and Lily felt tears prick the corners of her eyes as every heart connected with the pure, raw wish of a child. "Everyone wants love," Emma continued, her small voice steadying. "I have a big heart, like the songs say, but it feels lonely sometimes." In that moment, time stood still. Lily saw the faces around her reflecting that very longing, each person a vessel for hope and yearning, much like Emma. She felt a knot in her throat, the raw vulnerability poured into the room like sunshine after a storm. "Emma," Lily said, kneeling down to meet her at eye level. "What if we made sure every child felt as loved as you want to be? What if that's our mission?" The girl nodded slowly, a spark igniting in her eyes at the possibility, as if her small wish had just found its way into the universe of their efforts. As conversation erupted again, fueled by Emma's honesty, excitement bubbled in the room. They were no longer just organizing events, they were joining a cause of fight for love, for families, for homes. "Let us make a part of the fundraiser dedicated to them," Jason suggested. "Let us show how important these children are. We could share their stories and create a real impact." Lily watched as Emma beamed, her face lighting up the room. With each suggestion tossed around, it felt like they could actually shift the narrative. They were on the cusp of something transformational. However, a whisper of doubt crept back into Lily's mind. Would bringing such vulnerable stories to light only deepen the heartache? Could they truly honor each child's wish for love? The enthusiasm around her swelled, all they needed was a plan and a way to navigate their fears. Was it enough to simply believe? Or was there something deeper to uncover within themselves? Lily took a breath,
the weight of their collective hopes pressing down on her like a warm hug, as they moved forward with ideas to weave together. Still, a question lingered like a thread, gently unraveling in the air. What if the strength of one little girl's hope revealed a deeper truth about their purpose and unity? As the meeting drew to a close, Lily's heart raced with possibilities.
Would they discover a way to uplift every child like Emma? Or would the weight of fear and doubt become too much?
The room buzzed with an energy that felt electric, but amidst the excitement, Lily found her mind drifting.
Emma's words echoed in her ears, hanging in the air like a promise yet to be fulfilled.
The other attendees chatted animatedly, eyes bright with dreams of what could be. Yet, Lily's heart felt heavy.
Are we really ready for this?
She whispered to herself, a tiny voice lost in the chorus of hopeful chatter.
The task ahead suddenly felt monumental.
Gathering ideas around events was one thing, turning the stories of children like Emma into action felt like stepping into a vast ocean without knowing how to swim.
Lily.
Jason's voice broke through her reverie, pulling her back to the moment.
What do you think about focusing on community partnerships? Small businesses could help sponsor the fundraiser. We could really get everyone involved.
She looked up to see him beaming, but the thought of relying on others sent a shiver of doubt tripping down her spine.
What if they didn't care enough?
They certainly hadn't shown up for the kids before. As if sensing her hesitation, Jason added, we can't shy away from the hard stuff.
This is real, and people want to help.
Especially when it's about a little girl with a big heart. His eyes flicked affectionately toward Emma, who still stood at the front, now enthusiastically sharing her thoughts, her joy infectious. That spark, that little flicker of hope, ignited something in Lily's chest. In all their adult worries, they couldn't forget the childlike courage she embodied.
All right, Lily said, her resolve hardening like a fortress. Let us do it.
Let us reach out to the local businesses and make our first community meeting happen next week. Jason's face lit up, the others echoed agreements, and the conversation swelled once more. They started sketching out a plan, exchanging ideas faster than ever: bake sales, story times, art showcases where children could express their stories. Lily felt the flickering warmth of hope and purpose return, but as voices melded into a vibrant tapestry of laughter and creativity, another emotion slipped through the cracks: fear of failure.
What if their vision fell flat? What if the reality of bringing these children's stories to light turned into something that hurt more than helped? Lily?
Emma's small voice broke through her thoughts, and she knelt down once more to meet the child's gaze.
Yes, Emma? Will you come to see my drawing?
She asked, her wide eyes shining. It's about love and homes. Lily's heart melted at the request.
Of course. I'd love to see it. The girl's face brightened, filling Lily with a new thirst for purpose.
Emma's innocence held a profound truth. She reminded them all of the simplicity that was often buried beneath complexities. As the evening wore on, ideas blossomed and anxiety receded. Their shared laughter fluttered against the heavy walls of doubt. Everyone, even Lily, could feel it. They were slowly weaving the fabric of a community that could embrace these children's hopes, but deep inside, as the meeting wound down and the crowd thinned, a gnawing question lingered.
Was seeing Emma's drawing the catalyst they needed to dive deeper into their mission, or would it reveal an uncomfortable truth about the shadows of their own fears?
With her heart racing again, Lily knew tomorrow held more than just another day. The air was filled with potential as she glanced at Emma, who had become a beacon of hope.
Would that light be strong enough to guide them through the tough choices awaiting them?
The next day dawned cloudy, the sky muted as if preparing for the weight of the conversation yet to unfold. Lily arrived at the community center, her heart a flurry of nervous energy. She replayed the previous night in her mind: the laughter, the plans, the spark of hope ignited by Emma's thoughtful presence. But today, there would be no more daydreaming. Today was about action. Lily entered the room, filled with the buzz of excited chatter. Locals gathered around tables, examining flyers and brainstorming ideas. The air smelled of freshly brewed coffee, a grounding scent among the sea of anticipation.
But all Lily could think of was Emma's drawing. What had the girl poured into her art?
Was it a reflection of her heart's deepest desires? As she turned to see Emma standing by the soft, colorful mats in the corner, a rush of warmth enveloped her.
The girl held out her artwork, trembling with equal parts excitement and nerves. Lily! Look!
Emma's voice was like a sudden ray of sunshine cutting through the gray. Crouching down, Lily took the drawing in her hands. It was vibrant, filled with swirling colors and smiling faces.
In the center stood a house with an open door.
Above it, a sun shone bright, its rays reaching out to figures that displayed joy, hope, and togetherness. It was more than a childless drawing, it was a manifesto of love, painted with innocence and longing.
"This is beautiful, Emma,"
Lily praised, her voice thick with emotion.
"Tell me about it." Emma's face lit up. "This is my home. And those are my friends. The sun is love. And the house is always open for everyone."
The earnestness in her eyes brought a lump to Lily's throat. In that moment, she felt the weight of every worry lift. It was as if Emma had unknowingly pushed them over the precipice of fear. All that was left was faith. "You know," Lily began, swallowing hard, "we're trying to create something special for children just like you. We want to share your stories and this love with the world." But sometimes, she paused, not wanting to cast shadows on Emma's light, sometimes people forget to care.
Emma tilted her head, a frown etching her small brow. "But they don't have to forget.
If we show them our drawings, if they see what we want, they will care."
Right? The child's simple logic struck deep. How often did adults complicate what could be so simple? It was in that moment that Lily realized the truth echoed in Emma's words. All their hesitations danced like clouds across the sun, crowding the light. What if they launched this project not just as a means to raise funds but as a way to invite the community in, to open the doors just as Emma's drawing suggested? Feeling a shift within her, Lily's heart raced again, but this time with inspiration. "Let us come back next week, and we'll share this drawing and even more ideas. Together, we'll make it known that every child matters. They deserve homes filled with love." Emma squeezed Lily's hand, her smile transforming the entire space around them. "Can we have real sunshine too?" Lily chuckled, her spirit lifting. "I promise, Emma. We'll make sure to bring the sunshine." As the meeting kicked off, energized by Emma's vision, the room transformed. Ideas flew with renewed intensity and every face turned hopeful. But deep inside, questions swirled. Could their collective passion withstand the challenges ahead? And more importantly, would they carry the warmth of Emma's love into the world beyond their small community? With these thoughts swirling like a storm, Lily couldn't shake the feeling that a pivotal moment lay just around the corner. Would the courage they found today be enough to weather the impending doubts? The path ahead wasn't just about fundraising, it was a journey into something far greater. The following week dawned bright and clear, a perfect blue sky arching above the community center. Lily arrived early, her heart beating with a mix of excitement and anxiety. Today wasn't just another meeting, it was a chance to unveil Emma's drawing to the wider community. She could already envision the responses, the smiles, the nods, and hopefully, the encouragement they needed to move forward. As she entered the center, Lily was greeted by the familiar buzz of chatter. Tables filled with locals were draped in papers and sketches, all fueled by coffee and pastries. But today, one drawing would take center stage. Emma's drawing. Just the thought brought warmth to Lily's heart. There was Emma, bouncing on her toes, her small hands clutching the drawing like it was the most precious thing in the world. "Lily, are we ready?" She beamed, her excitement radiating through the room. "Absolutely. You ready to share your sunshine with everyone?" Lily asked, kneeling down to meet Emma's gaze. "Yeah. And I've thought of more things we could do," Emma chirped, her eyes sparkling. "Like a story corner, and games." "And what about a garden?" Lily couldn't help but smile. "Those sound amazing. We'll share those ideas today too." As the meeting began, Lily called everyone's attention to the drawing. "I want to introduce you all to something special created by a very talented little girl," she said, her voice steady but filled with emotion. She revealed Emma's artwork, the colors catching the light. "This is Emma's vision of home filled with love, friends, and open doors." Gasps of admiration rippled through the audience. Hands reached out, some even covering hearts as they took in the beauty of the drawing. Emma stood proudly, her cheeks flushed with joy. As the discussion began, ideas flowed like water.
People began to share their own stories of struggles and hopes.
Some opened up about their childhood dreams of safety and warmth.
Others shared their successes, recalling moments when kindness had reached them just in time. With every word, the atmosphere became richer, alive with possibility, but then, a voice rose above the rest. It belonged to Mr. Jensen, a longtime resident known for his wisdom and stern demeanor. "This is wonderful," he said, his tone softer than usual.
"But what does it mean to really open our doors? Are we prepared for what walking through those doors entails?"
The room fell silent, the question hanging heavily in the air. Lily felt the weight of it settle like a fog, creeping into the hearts of everyone present. The hope was palpable, but the hesitation clung tightly.
Emma looked at Lily, her expression perplexed. "What does he mean, Lily?" Lily knelt beside Emma, searching for the right words.
"It means we need to think carefully about how we can invite people in. We have to be ready to love not just with our ideas, but with our actions, our time, our resources, our hearts." Suddenly the door swung open. Clara, a single mother new to the community, stepped inside. She caught sight of everyone gathered and smiled hesitantly, her eyes darting to the drawing now resting on the table. Emma jumped up, running toward her.
"Look! My house is always open for everyone." Clara's face transformed.
It was a mix of surprise and tenderness.
She stepped closer, kneeling down to meet Emma.
"What a beautiful home you've created," she murmured. Lily watched the scene unfold, her heart swelling as the moment crystallized in her mind. This was what it meant: community, reaching out, bridging gaps.
But beneath that joy, a nagging thought lingered: could they truly sustain this newfound determination?
As the meeting continued and Clara began to share her challenges, Lily felt the flicker of doubt. Could the community stay firm in their commitment, and could they provide the love that Emma's drawing promised? Just then, she caught Emma's eye. In that innocent gaze, Lily saw a spark of fervor and dreams waiting to explode. And she realized, once more, the journey was only beginning. With hope still pulsing in the collective heart of the group, Lily spoke again, this
time with more conviction.
Let us create a place where everyone feels at home with love and support. But we need all of you to be committed, to step through those doors beside us. As Clara nodded, a smile spreading across her face, Lily couldn't shake the feeling that the real challenge was still ahead.
Would they be able to translate today's moments of hope into lasting change?
And as everyone held their breath, wanting to know if they would take the leap, Lily couldn't help but wonder what other dreams lay hidden in the hearts of those who had yet to find their voice. The energy in the room buzzed, but beneath the surface, a current of uncertainty wove its way through the conversations. As people exchanged ideas, what had started with enthusiasm began to reveal cracks. Lily felt a knot in her stomach tighten.
Was it idealism to believe love could truly bring everyone together?
Or was this just another fleeting moment of shared hope, destined to fade? Emma had returned to her drawing, tracing her fingers over the vibrant colors as if they might spark more ideas.
"Can I make more drawings, Lily? Like all our parties and the people who come?"
Her innocence melted Lily's heart, but it also added weight to her worries.
"Of course, Emma," she replied, her voice gentle.
"Your art inspires us all." But the truth lurked: without action, these dreams could just be colors on a page. Clara stood near a table, her eyes scanning the faces around her. The warmth of the room seemed to beckon her, but doubt flickered in her gaze.
"What if my story doesn't matter?"
she whispered, her voice barely audible. Lily caught her eye, locking onto that flicker of vulnerability. "Clara," she said, stepping closer.
"Your story matters. It brings strength to our conversation. You have a voice, and together, we can uplift it."
The murmur of agreement rippled through the attendees.
Clara's tentative smile grew, igniting a spark of courage within her. "All right. I've been struggling to find a job since I moved here. I want a better life for my kids. I want them to feel what it means to belong."
With every word, the room leaned in as if the air itself had grown thicker.
Reality washed over them, hitting harder than any artwork could express.
Mr. Jensen cleared his throat, taking a step forward. "We each carry our own baggage, and lifting it together doesn't make it lighter. But maybe it makes it easier to bear, he said, his voice heavy but resonating with conviction. The powerful silence that followed was interrupted only by the sound of Emma's laughter, light and sweet, cutting through the tension like a beam of sunlight.
We can have a music party. Everyone can bring their favorite song. And we can dance.
Lily looked at Emma, her little heart so full of joy, and felt a small semblance of hope stir within. With every mention of joy, fears began to dissipate, replaced by a growing sense of togetherness. Clara began to smile, encouraged by the idea of community support. Mr. Jensen nodded appreciatively, captivated by the simplicity of children's dreams. Yet, even as everyone began suggesting plans for future events, Lily couldn't shake the feeling that they were teetering on the edge of something significant, an uncertain precipice where dreams could either soar or shatter. As the meeting progressed, hands raised, ideas flowed, but the undercurrent of reality weighed heavier.
What did it mean to really take that leap? What if they faced rejection? What if no one showed up to their first gathering? These questions loomed like dark clouds, threatening a downpour.
Even in the face of doubt, let our love and action be the umbrella, Lily said, rousing the group.
Let us decide today. Not just to dream, but to take the steps together.
Just as the group began to nod, her phone buzzed in her pocket. She glanced down, and her heart dropped. It was a message from the community board about the funding applications. The deadline was approaching, and they were behind.
They had a mountain to climb. Can we really do this?
She thought, anxiety creeping in.
But her eyes met Emma's once more, and the little girl's unwavering belief shone like a lighthouse in a storm. Could they all find that strength within themselves to push through? As new ideas poured forth, the faces around her beamed with possibility. Little did they know, what awaited them just around the corner would test their commitment in ways they hadn't anticipated. Lily took a deep breath, summoning courage she wasn't sure she had.
Let's keep this fire burning, and run toward our dreams even when our hearts tremble. And as she looked out at the faces gathered, the fleck of doubt still hung in
the air, intertwining with hope. Would they be ready for what came next? Would their open doors lead to a welcoming embrace or a chilling draft?
The sun shone brilliantly on the day of the big community event.
It was finally here, the culmination of weeks of planning, dreams, and hope.
The community center buzzed as families poured in, their smiles like warm rays of sunshine filling the room. Lily stood by the entrance, her heart racing. She felt like a little bird, needing to spread her wings, but also terrified of the heights she might reach or fall from. Around her, posters decorated with Emma's vibrant drawings adorned the walls, each one telling a story of love. She caught sight of Emma, gleefully interacting with children and adults alike, everyone captivated by her infectious enthusiasm.
Are you ready, Lily?
Jason asked, stepping beside her, a confident smile on his face.
Ready as I'll ever be, she replied, her voice cracking slightly.
But behind that quiver lay a determination that had been growing.
Thank you for being here.
Always, he said, his eyes shining with sincerity.
We're all in this together. As the event unfolded, excitement rippled through the crowd.
Local businesses showcased their offerings, and volunteers began setting up booths filled with activities, laughter ringing through the air like music. It felt like a sea of joy, painting the room with possibilities. Lily took a breath, stepping onto the makeshift stage that sparkled under the lights. Her heart raced, but she could see Emma waving, her tiny hands full of encouragement. The crowd quieted, and she knew this was her moment.
Welcome everyone. Thank you for coming today to support our children and our community.
She began, her voice steady as she spoke.
We're here to turn dreams into reality, one smile at a time.
Nervous excitement crackled in the air, but she pressed on. This journey started with Emma's beautiful drawing a shining home filled with love.
Today, we're here to make that love tangible. We want every child to feel this warmth.
Cheers erupted from the crowd, filling her with strength. She glanced around, spotting Mr. Jensen nodding approvingly, and Clara smiling brightly with her children. Together, we can create a home not just for Emma, but for every child longing for love.
Today is not just an event, it's a mission.
As she spoke, thoughts flooded her mind, every hesitant doubt she'd battled, every fear she'd faced, every moment she'd felt alone. It all faded away, replaced by a powerful realization: she was not alone anymore.
With each sentence, Lily felt lighter, free from the pressures of perfection, embracing the authenticity of their shared humanity.
She invited Mrs. Thompson to the stage to share her vision for the bakery fundraiser, a heartfelt dream to bring sweets and warmth to the community while supporting families in need.
Soon, the crowd was buzzing with energy.
Each person stepped forward to share their ideas. Gentle whispers turned into enthusiastic chatter. Ideas flowed like rivers feeding an ocean, every suggestion more vibrant than the last. There was laughter, solidarity, and a unified heartbeat of love. Lily felt her heart swell as she watched them come together.
This was it. They were doing it.
They were building a foundation of love, one joyful moment at a time. Just when the atmosphere began to simmer with excitement, a familiar voice pierced through the crowd.
But what if it all falls apart again? Lily's stomach dropped. Fear shivered through her.
She turned to see a familiar face, a resident who had watched the community struggle for years, emboldened by past disappointments. The worry reflected in his eyes felt suffocating.
No. Emma bounced forward, her small stature dwarfed by the wave of uncertainty.
It won't fall apart because we're here together.
We want love.
A ripple of agreement flowed through the crowd, and Lily felt that determination strengthen. It was the force of unity, breaking through cynicism.
That's what it's all about.
Jason called out, stepping forward beside Lily.
We're not just here for a moment.
We're here to create a lasting legacy of love for our children.
The crowd stirred, voices lifting higher. Each person began to articulate their commitment, pledging their support loud and clear. I'll help with fundraisers. I'll volunteer my time. Let us make this home together.
Lily felt tears spill over, cascading down her cheeks.
Joy coursed through her, electric and pure. She knew in that moment that they were not just words, they were promises driven by the power of unity.
As Emma lifted her drawing, the community banded together, sharing a dance for joy, feeling the hope embrace them like a warm hug.
The atmosphere brimmed with laughter, a celebration of their unyielding spirits. With each dance, each laugh, each shared story solidified their mission even more.
They were willing to step through the doors of uncertainty, armed with love and determination, ready to push back the shadows of doubt. The event concluded with a call to action. Together, they signed petitions to establish ongoing support for local children in need, creating a community that would stand up and take notice. Remember, we're all connected, Lily exclaimed, looking out at the faces that had changed from skepticism to belief.
Let us keep this love alive.
As the evening drew to a close, Lily caught Emma's gaze again, smiles bursting on both their faces.
In that moment, they both understood something profound.
Love had built this bridge between hearts. One child's wish had ignited a fire that no doubt could extinguish. The community's new journey had begun, and this love would be their foundation, forever guiding each step forward. They had transformed their hearts into a home for one another, and no matter the challenges, they would walk together, hand in hand, always ready to hold each other up. With hope soaring toward the horizon like a golden sunrise, Lily knew the magic of their bond would only grow. This was just the beginning, and together, they could build a beautiful future. Now, if you're inspired by this transformation and want to see more heartwarming stories like this, subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss out.
This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and let it know heartfelt stories matter. And don't forget to comment below with your feelings about Lily and Emma's journey. Let's celebrate this together. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. It just might inspire them to create their own magic. Don't wait not even one more second, every action counts.